Alright folks, welcome back to Wilderness Wargaming. Tonight we're going to take a look at Faction Focus Eldari. I'm very excited for this one, as I stated in a couple of the previous videos. My original army that I played very first, all the way back in 2nd edition, and I cannot wait to find out how they're going to do in this one. Although they're not my main army anymore, I would say Sisters are my main army. These guys are probably my 3rd or 4th. I still have a lot of affection for them, and they always hold a special place for me in my in my Warhammer endeavors. So let's take a look. Okay, I've already seen the rune cast can cause before mankind had thought to hit one storm with another. Yeah, no kidding, they caused most of it. Well, maybe not most of it, but a lot of it. Alright, what do we got here? I still need to get one of these. I have a pretty extensive Eldari force, but I do not have the updated avatar model. I have the older one, but not the new one. But I like it. Can't decide if I would put the sword or the spear on him, though. That's a tough one. Alright, faction rules. Strands of Fate. So the Strands of Fate are back, except they are considerably changed. So we've got, what we're doing is we're starting the battle, we're making a Strands of Fate roll governed by rolling 12d6. And then you can reroll these dice, but you have to roll one less. You can continue rerolling all the dice and rolling one less d6 each time you do until you're satisfied with the results rolled, or you only have a single d6 remaining. When you're satisfied with the results rolled, these remaining dice become your fate dice for the battle. These results cannot be changed or rolled further unless rolled specific states otherwise. Keep your fate dice to one side. This is your fate dice pool. Before making a dice roll for a model or a unit from your army with the Strands of Fate ability, if you have one or more dice in your fate dice pool, you can use one of those fate dice. To do so, select one of those fate dice to substitute that dice roll. The dice that is being substituted is not rolled. Instead, the value of the selected fate dice is used as if it had been rolled. This counts as an unmodified dice roll of that value for all rules purposes. Each fate dice ability can only use in this way once. If using fate dice, remove from your pool all remaining dice that are part of that dice roll. And roll all remaining dice that are part of it. Use the dice roll for any of the font types: advance, battle shock, charge, damage, hit, saving throw, or wound roll. So initially, when I read through this, I misunderstood it. I thought what you could do was you could reroll all the dice, but you had to put one aside. And then you get to reroll 11 others. You had to pick one that you couldn't reroll. And you could keep doing that until you had rerolled as many as you wanted. And now I realize I was wrong. Every time you choose to reroll, you are decreasing the size of your Strands of Fate pool. Now, this is going to be a tricky call for prospective Farseers and Autarchs out there, because you're going to have to make a pretty quick estimate of whether or not it's a good idea to reroll. And this could get some really complicated mathematics. So I would say probably the easiest way to do this right off the bat is to look at and see, do you have at least 2 6s? If you don't have 2 6s, if you only have 1 or 0 6s, you should definitely reroll. If you have 2, then it gets a little bit more tricky. What I would probably do is try and add up what the total if you had 2 of each result. So you have 12 of them, you get your ideal average result would be 2 1s, 2 2s, 2 3s, so on and so forth. So that would be 21, 20. There'd be 42. So what I would probably do is, once I saw 2 6s, add up the rest of the dice, and then add the 12 to them. If it didn't add up to 42 total, when you add them up real quick, then I'd probably reroll. But that is just a quick, off the top of my head, quick and dirty method that I might use. Now, I'm all about quick and dirty methods that you can figure out quickly at the table. I did do a video a while back. It wasn't one of my better ones, but it was on how I mentally estimate probabilities at the table very quickly. And this one would require kind of some of the same effort. I'll probably redo that for the new edition when we see how things shake out. Try to slim it down. That's gonna be a trick. You're gonna have to figure that out. Now, of course, you could always just roll it and stick with it. Maybe take 1 free throw, maybe 2. But I wouldn't say keep trying to get more 6. Don't fish for 6s. That's not gonna. When there is no way to fish for 6s, really, you're gonna have to reroll them all, and you have to sacrifice something. So you could, as long as you get at least 3 6s, I'd say your roll is pretty strong. That's going to be 3 free 6s throughout the battle. Not as good as the miracle dice that the sisters get, but still pretty handy. Now, of course, things below that are useful. Even 2s could be useful. I mean, you could use it on 2s on some of your hit and wound rolls in certain conditions. So if you have 2s to burn, I just burn them on free wound rolls. So there is some use there, even if you don't get 2s. A lot of times 5s are still going to be very useful. You can, a lot of times, if you queue up a charge with a 5 rather than a 6, you've still got a very high chance of making it. Now, when you get a 9-inch charge, now you've boosted your chance of making a 9-inch charge to 50% from 28%. So a 5 is pretty handy there. Let's move on. Detachment rule. We have unparalleled foresight. Okay. Each Eldari unit from your army selected to shoot or fight, you can roll 1 hit roll, and you can roll 1 wound roll resolving those attacks. Okay. Now, first of all, this is a reason why I do not want to see immunity to rerolls in the game, because this is a detachment rule, and getting to just neutralize part or all of your opponent's detachment rule would just be not good. I don't like that. Where you get a rule, your army rule is better than your opponent's or something like that. I don't want to see those army-wide immunity rules. On a rare unit here and there, okay, fine. But this is a perfect example of why I don't want to see that. Is some armies should not be able to just outright neutralize other armies. Now, this is pretty good. This is stronger than it seems. This is similar to the current rule for the Argent Shroud Sisters detachments, but it's better because instead of it's pick one or the other, you get one of each. So if you've got something like a Falcon or Fire Prism firing its main gun, or you have a Wraith Knight, you can reroll the big one if you fail on anything. You can always you don't have to do them in that order either. You can always, if you hit with the big gun first, you can always, and then fail the wound, you can roll the wound and then save the reroll hit for one of the weaker guns. And you can do it both shooting and fighting. So if you've got something like Howling Banshees, you can do this with their pistols, and then you can do it again with their melee weapons. Pretty handy. And you might even pull out a little extra melee damage if you get something that is not really a melee unit timed up in melee. You might ship an extra wound off of those. Very, very good stuff. Okay. Now, this Farseer, what have we got? Okay, it looks like a lot of our traditional psychic powers are not here. What we've got is the Eldritch Storm power, which was actually not a psychic power, it was a stratagem in the last one. But way back in 2nd edition, it was a psychic power. Blast, psychic, range 24 inches, attacks D3, ballistic skill 3, strength 6, AP -2, damage D3. So pretty strong, reasonably strong anti-infantry psychic power there. Oh, I forgot to do his stat line. Movement 7, toughness 3, save 6+, wounds 4, leadership 6, objective control 1. That's kind of odd. That's only 1, but okay. Oh, and he has a 4 up in bone. So the rumor that they were getting bumped down to a 5 up in bone is not true. That's good. Pretty interesting psychic power there. Shuriken Pistol. Attacks 1, ballistic skill 2 up, strength 4, AP -1, damage 1. And then the Singing Spear. Range 12, attacks 1, ballistic skill 2, strength 9, AP 0, damage. I don't know why the Singing Spear and the Witchblade are still AP 0. Singing Spear, then melee, attacks 2, weapon skill 2, strength 3, AP 0, damage 3. The Farseer is still not that dangerous of an actual combatant. This is not ideal. This is not making me too happy. It looks like just from looking at this, that the Farseer is going to be weakened a great deal. You're losing tremendous versatility here. What else have we got? Branching Fates. Once per turn when you use it, Fate dice are supposed to roll for a model within 12 inches of a Farseer model for your army. One model from your army can use it. If it does, the result of that Fate dice is first changed to a 6. Okay, so, all right, you got a Farseer. You can keep units within 12 inches, and you can change Fate dice to 6s for them. So that makes it, that's a lot better. That's very handy, although you're not going to have endless Fate dice to burn through. But certainly, that makes your Fate dice significantly more valuable. And you still get Fortune. Okay, so we do have the other one here. In your command phase, you can roll 1d6 on a 2-up, select one friendly Eldari within 12 inches of the sector until you're... Subtract. That's -1 to wound. Okay, that's good. -2 wound, I like a lot. That's a very solid increase in durability for your elves. If they're only toughness 3, and that's actually better than an improvement by 1 of toughness, because that means no matter what the wound roll is, it can never be better than wounding on 3. It can be strength 20 weapon, and it'll still wound on a 3 because you have to subtract 1, and 2 going down to a 1 would be nada. Okay, so that's so we have Fortune and Eldritch Storm. Okay, not as bad as I initially thought. Doom, Executioner, Mind War. Oh man, those are traditional abilities. We'll have to see. Maybe they may pop out in other places. Okay. Yeah, make your fate dice go further. And they do not suffer damage if they're power fail, so there's no perils in the work for that. Okay, Guardian Defenders. If they're power fail, I wonder if that's just now instead of on double 6s or double 1s, it's now anytime you fail a psychic test, you take mortal wounds. Okay. Guardian Defenders, move 7s, toughness 3, save 4 up, 1 wound, leadership 6+, projectile control 2. Okay, so strong on the leadership, strong on the movement, but otherwise the typical elf profiles that we know and love. They can have, in addition to the Shuriken Catapult, which is now 18-inch range, attacks 2, ballistic skill 3, strength 4, AP minus 1, damage 1. A little shorter range than the bolters of infantry weapons of other races, but powerful. Now, it does not get sustained hits or improved armor penetration, anything like that. The Shuriken can get sustained hits. Now, it doesn't say ignores cover here, and it did when they showed that weapon on a different profile in one of the previous videos. So that's interesting. The Shuriken Cannon's range 24. It's not heavy or anything like that. Attacks 3, ballistic skill 3, strength 6, AP minus 1, damage 2. Let's see. What else we got? The Scatter Laser, Bright Lance. This stuff hasn't changed too much. The Bright Lance is damage D6 plus 2 now. It's up to strength 12. The Starshot Missile is basically the crack missile. That's up to strength 10. The Sunburst, the Blast frag type missile is not really changed too much. And the Star Cannon doesn't look like it's changed too much either. It has not lost any AP. It's AP minus 3 still. Strength 8, so that's pretty good. And then they have a typical close combat. This stuff would, other than the Shuriken Catapult, this would all be what's on your weapons platform if you have one. I actually don't own any. I have some very, very old Guardians. I have 20 very old Guardian Defenders, or a box set of old plastic models, not the current ones, that did not come with a weapons platform. So I often forget that they have those. Defenders of Fate. At the end of your command phase for each objective marker, you control that as 1 or more units from your army with this ability within arrangement. Roll 1d6 and add your fate dice pool, displaying the result you just roll. Dandy, you can get more fate dice with these. Just that alone is probably, you keep one of these parked on a home objective and generate a fate die each turn as long as you can keep them alive. Okay, and then the heavy weapon platform dies if all the Guardians die. Okay. Infantry, battle line, grenades, Guardians, Guardian Defenders. No shock down there. Then, okay, Prism Cannon. This is what's going to be on the Fire Prism. Okay, we have, instead of 3 profiles, I think we have 2. That was only the 8th edition codex at 3. Okay, they're both range 60 inches. We've got the Blast profile and then the Focused. 2d6 attacks, 3 up, strength 6, AP minus 1, damage 2. So very, very formidable anti-infantry profile there. And you'll be popping assuming you rolled the average 7, ballistic skill 3 up, you probably get, let's say, 4 hits, wounding on 3s. 4 to 5 hits, wounding on 3s. Let's say 3 wounds, 1 or 2 saves. So you'd be popping a Marine or 2 easy on this. If you're shooting at something more like Guardsmen, that's 7. Hitting with, let's say, 5, wounding 3 of them, and saving 1. Yeah, you probably get maybe not as formidable as it initially looks. On the other hand, this could pile up damage pretty fast on toughness 5 or 6 vehicles, where you're piling up on the same model. A lot of times, some of this stuff, it looks really, really dangerous at the beginning, and then you turn it. Now, if you roll 12 here, you're getting 8 hits on average, and wounding something like Marines. Out of that 8, you're wounding about 5 times, and they're going to save probably 2 of them, so you might kill 3 if you look on real boxcars over here. But that's still not bad. Taking out 3 Marines in one go is good shooting. And remember, it's Blast, so you're going to get your minimums against larger squads. Now this is where, though, the real money with this thing comes in. The linked fire, focused lances. Okay, so there's no more stratagem to link the fire prisms together. Now it's just going to happen when you have multiple, because when selecting targets for this weapon, you can measure range in terms of another friendly fire models visible to the bearer. So you do not. All that has to happen is one fire prism has to be able to see that, and they all can fire at it. And this is how I would have done indirect fire. I probably would have kept the +1 to the armor save, but what I would have done rather than pose the hit penalty is just said you have to be able to see it with any model in your army rather than the firing unit. But anyhow, the focused lance is 2 attacks, ballistic skill 3, strength 18, AP -4, damage 6. This is going to absolutely plow a lot of targets. Oh, and I forgot, you can re-roll 1 hit and 1 wound per turn. So this is more. These profiles are more dangerous than they initially look. This is a very, very dangerous profile, because you're going to get, on average, let's say 1 hit, you can re-roll the miss. So you're going to give a very high chance of getting 2 hits. And most targets you're going to be wounding on 2s, and you get a free wound roll. So, and a lot of targets just outright won't save because they have a 3-up save. Anything with a 2-up is going to be saving on 6 and doing 6 damage. Yeah, I can see this easily taking out a Dreadnought, and you can easily focus fire from multiple of these. I do not own any yet. It's one that's been on my back burner for years, and I'm definitely going to get some. Maybe not this year, but probably next year. Okay, fire and fade. This is the same one we're used to. Now, they don't have battle focus moves anymore. They have this 2 CP fire and fade. Now, this is going to be very expensive and hard to use because command points are going to be much more rare, but you still can. You can make a normal move after you're shooting. You can't do it with an aircraft, but it's any Eldar unit. It's not infantry. Now, you can't get into a transport, and you can't at an engagement range, but this thing, these guys, well, that's a 7-inch move for the infantry. These things, the fire prisms and other vehicles probably have at least 12 inches of movement, probably more than that. So you could really, really throw a wrench into things by popping out something valuable. I could see a lot of use for that with this fire prism. You pop 1 fire prism out, blast something, and then spend 2 CP and move it back into cover. And that could be a real butt kicker right there. I like it. I like this a lot. So, okay, and what do we got? The word from the studio. Scrying the future attempts to alter the course of fate itself. So the fate dice, yes. Yeah, the Farseer is very Farseer-y. Altering fate, adding, more fate dice, and working with the Guardians, adding more fate dice or altering the value of them, that's pretty handy. I want to read these Inari books. I really need to read those. The Inari are kind of a separate faction, but not really. And they probably should have said Eldari. They probably should have said Craftworlds, because we need Harlequins. We need Drakari as well. Inari are presumably going to be part of Craftworlds again, especially since they're right here on this page. Let's see what else. Doctoring a deadly las cannon back down to a roll of 3 never gets. Yeah, that's true. Or something worse than that. They've been a long time to trigonometry and don't even ask about their snooker game. I don't remember what that was about. Fire prisms can violently fire machine. Yeah, do not ask about their snooker game. Okay. Next up, we're going to have Death Guard. I'll be very interested to look at them because, to me, they're one of those armies that has always seemed to me to be a real meta indicator. If the Death Guard are doing well, the meta seems to be healthy. If they're not, there usually seems to be problems. By doing well, I mean like at least firmly in the middle of the pack. But anyhow, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment down below, and click the notifications bell for more great content from Wilderness Wargaming. And I will see you back here again very soon. Bye.